How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MULN Mullen. If you guys remember what I said in my previous video, the moment we can get above $1.50, you can look forward to seeing that move going to $2. As far as for the low of the day during regular trading hours, we got down to $1.54. So the fact we were able to hold up this level and then try to make that push to $2 again, there's a lot of interest in this stock. Saw a lot of high volume. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important because it can have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for MULN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $1.77, being up 31.11%. On the low, it tested $1.54, and then on the high, testing $2.09. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 520.119 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 241.846 million shares. So we had well above the average in regards to volume, and it's part of the reasons why we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is at 53.12. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, but we are above the 21-day EMA. So as far as for the high of the day, we ended up getting to $2.09. And if you guys remember, I was saying in the previous video, if we can get above $1.50, then we should be able to see the $2 level. We were able to do exactly that. So going into tomorrow, what I'd want to see for this strength to actually continue in this play, I want to see us stay above that $1.50 level. Most preferably, if we could hold up support around $1.60, that is not bad whatsoever, because then that could still get us ready for another move to test above $2. So what you want to see going into tomorrow is seeing it get above 209 and see if it can make that move to where it can get to the 50-day around $2.54. This would be the most ideal scenario, and then we can continue on with this breakout. If it does decide to consolidate and hold down $1.60, that is not too bad either, because at the same time we are still forming a higher low. Remember, we tested 154, so if we can have a higher low of 160 going into tomorrow, it does keep the bullish uptrend going. So let's see how Mullen performs going into tomorrow. So let's get into the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information from Mullen. So for the off-exchange short volume ratio, it's at 33.15%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 54.09 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.9 million, updated 8 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 10.81%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 10th, it was at 32.92. And then for the close of the 11th being at 33.15. So it'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening. But one thing that remains clear, Mullen does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for MULN. So we see on the inflow it's at 210, and then on the outflow it's at 184. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 47.25, on the medium it was 123, and then on the small it was 40.18. Taking a look at the outflow side, you could see on the large it was 53.29, on the medium it was 101, and then on the small it was 29.52. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, March the 14th, we had a big outflow of negative 6.8 1.04 million, but we were still able to show some strength on the day. This is what you call demand in the market. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1,502%. That is crazy. But it also does show us there's a lot of traders who are going in and out. And we know that it's volatile since it does have high trading volume. And to be more precise about that, considering how choppy the markets were, we had well over 500 million in volume. When you have this kind of buying pressure coming into the stock, it can get very, very interesting. Let's get into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for MULN in regards to the price action, I want to see us make a higher low going into tomorrow during regular trading hours, which would be around $1.60. As far as for the low of the day, we saw it at $1.54. And if you guys remember what I said in my previous video, the moment we could see a move above 150, that's where we can look forward to seeing that push going to $2. And that's exactly what happened. But what I'm really trying to hammer home, you want to have a strategy before you jump into these plays. You can't just look at the stock and say, well, you know what, I'm going to buy now. You need to know what your entry is going to be, what your exit's going to be, and make sure you have the right risk management. This is key so you don't end up going red, especially on a winning trade. Trade your plan. Don't go outside of that. Also, as far as making moves to the upside, we want to see some price action above $2.10, and then the next resistance level is right around the 50-day, which is around $2.54. Breaking through these levels, it can get very interesting for this stock. But let's say, for example, we end up having a pullback or we have some consolidation going into tomorrow and we break through those key levels, especially at $1.50, or we can call it at $1.54. Then you want to see us stay above $1.38, which is right where we have the 21-day EMA. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, with the demand we have inside of the market, we saw inside of the order flow, there was a lot of big money that was taking profits. Not surprising, knowing that we had a big time pullback inside of the market. We're continuing to see weakness inside of the tech sector. But as you saw, retail came in and was just buying it up. And that's why when it had that strong sell-off in the beginning of the day, and then it was just staying above 154 and then tried to make another push again, we want to see something similar to that, especially as this week progresses. You know, we do have the Fed meeting and we also have the quad witching on the Friday. So make sure you're protecting yourself before you jump into this play. Have a game plan and make sure you focus on that. Don't let greed get in the way. So I hope you enjoyed this video and let's see how this stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.